tax, tips, and markups. So when we talk about tax, tips, and markups, this is additional money that's being added to the initial cost. So the way that we find these is our total cost is going to equal the sum of the cost of the item plus the sales tax that's being added to that item. So word problems are the way we go about this. So it says Sam buys a model railroad which costs $50. So that's my item cost. Shipping and handling are an additional 15% of the price. Find the shipping and handling cost, then find the total cost. So we're doing two things here. First thing we're going to do is figure out how much it costs for shipping and handling. So I know that my item cost $50. In order to find the additional percentage, I'm going to multiply it by the percent as a decimal. So 0.15. As a quick review, if we're converting a percent to a decimal, you're moving the decimal place to the left. So if I have 15%, if there's not a decimal place there, I put it at the back or the far right, and then I move it 1-2 places. So I'm going to have a 0 in front and then my 1-5. So that's a quick review on how to convert percents into decimals. So now when I multiply this, 50 times 0.15 is going to give me 7.5. Since we're talking about shipping and handling, that's an additional cost. So I'm talking about money. So it's going to cost $7.50 for shipping and handling. So this is the first part, the finding the shipping and handling cost. Now it says to find the total cost. So my total cost is now going to be adding the sales tax, in this case the shipping and handling, to the item cost. So I'm going to have $50 plus $7.50. You can do it horizontally, like I've shown here, which is going to give you $57.50. Your dollar sign goes in front of the number, not at the back, and you always have two decimal places. Even if there isn't a second place when you plug things into your calculator, make sure you add that 0 because money always has two decimal places. The other way you can do this is vertically. So if I set it up 50, make sure you add a decimal and 2 zeros at the end. So 50.00 is the same thing as $50. Now I'm going to add $7.50 to that. So make sure that you stack your decimal places so that you're adding these numbers correctly. So now when I add them together, 0 and 0 is 0. 0 plus 5 gives me 5. Bring down your decimal. 0 plus 7 is 7, and 5 plus nothing is 5. So again, you get $57.50. For example 2, it says, if Henry buys a hammock priced at $88, what will be his total if tax is 10% of the cost? So in this case, they're not asking you to find the value of the tax like they did up here. They're just asking you to do this final total. That means you still have to find the tax, you just don't actually have to state what it is separately. So for example 2, I'm going to show you two ways to do this. So I'm going to split this in half and show you two different ways. So the first one is following the same steps that we did above. So I have my initial cost, which was $88, times my percent, in this case 10% written as a decimal, would be 0.1. So this is going to give me the tax that's added to the $88. So when you do 88 times 0.1, I get 8.8, and since we're talking about money, that's saying $8.80 is going to get added on. So now when I find my total, I'm going to do the original cost, $88, plus my tax of $8.80. $96.80, which is going to give me $96.80. Again, you can set it up vertically by adding a decimal and 2 zeros because it doesn't change the value. Stack your decimal places. When you add in your tax, 8 and 8 is 16. Carry your 1. 8 plus 1 is going to give you 9. So this is one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is a quicker method, but you need to understand why this works in order to be able to do this faster method. So when we're doing this faster method, we know that we have to pay 100% of the cost is $88. I'm also going to add on 10%. So total, I'm paying 110% of the item. Okay, so again, 100% is equal to the original price, plus my 10% for my tax is going to mean that I have to pay a total of 110% of whatever that item costs. So now I can convert 110 into a decimal. If there's not one present, it goes at the back. I move it 2 places, 1, 2. So now I'm looking at 1.1, this is my percent as a decimal, times the $88 of that original cost. So the original cost times the percent. This is now going to give me, again, $96.80. If I show you the vertical multiplication of it, I would have 1.1 times 88. Since you're multiplying, you don't need to line up decimal places. The only time you need to line up decimal places is when you're adding or subtracting numbers. So when I multiply, 8 times 1 is 8, 8 times 1 is 8, bring down a 0. When I do my second 8, you get the same thing, 88. Now I'm going to add them. So 8 plus 0 is going to give me 8. 8 and 8 is 16. Carry, 8 and 1 is 9. If I had one decimal place that I multiplied, I need one decimal place in my answer. So I get 96.8, but since we're talking about money, you need to add that 0 so that you have 2 decimal places. We're going to do 2 more problems. Example 3 says, Amy spent $25 on brunch. If she leaves an 18% tip, how much will the total, including tip, cost? So how much will the total, including tip, cost? Again, 2 different ways that we're going to do this. I can first find how much the tip was and then add it in, and then we're going to do the combined percentages. So if I have $25 times 0.18, that's going to give me $4.50. When I add that to my 25, that's going to give me $29.50 for the total bill. Again, if I'm going to do it vertically, make sure that you line up your decimal places, but you still get $29.50. The other way, like I said, if you know that you have to pay 100%, because this is my $25 is at 100%. If I now have to add 18% tip, this is my tip, I'm going to pay 118% of the original bill. So when I want to change it into a decimal, move it 1, 2 places. So I now have the original cost of $25 times 1.18, which again is going to give you $29.50. If I set this up vertically, always use the term that has the most digits on top. So if I have 1.18 and I'm multiplying it by 25, you just have to multiply it twice instead of multiplying it 3 times. So 5 times 8 is 40. Carry your 4. 5 plus 4 is 9. 5 times 1 is 5. Bring down your 0. 16. 2 and 1 is 3. And 2. So now when I add these together, I get 0, 5, carry, because that's 15, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Bring down my 2. If I had 2 decimal places in my problem, I need 2 decimal places in my answer. So again, 2950 would be your total. And if we look at the last problem, example 4, it says a store pays $628 for dishwasher. The store marks it up by 40%. What is the new price and how much profit does the store make? So your profit is kind of like your tip. The profit is what is being added to this original cost in order for them to make money. So again, we're going to solve 2 ways. If I have my original cost of $628 and I'm going to multiply it by 0.4 because that's 40% as a decimal, that's going to give me $251.20. This is their profit. They're going to make $251.20 off of each dishwasher that costs $628 after it's marked up 40%. Now, what the new price is going to be is what you actually have to pay. So I'm going to take that $628 and add the $251.20 to it, and you're going to end up with $879.20. So you're going to pay $879.20, and they're going to make $251.20 off of it because they only paid $628 to start with. Again, the quick way of doing this, you know that you have to pay 100%. That's your $628, and the 40% markup. This is the markup, which means you're going to have to pay 140% of that item. So if I rewrite this as a decimal, I get 1.4 times the original cost, $628, which is going to give you $879.20. For this problem, this is the method that you should use because it's asking you for the new price and what that profit is. So you'd have to find out this first piece, what 40% of 628 is, in order to find the profit. If it just asked you to find what you're going to pay, then you could use this quicker second method. So it all depends on what the problem is actually asking you to solve for. So pay attention to what they're asking for.